Hope you guys are having a good spring break. Hope you guys are making good choices. My presentation is going to be on the Peace Corps. I am excited to give you guys some information that I have learned so far. Hope that my mic sounds pretty well, accurate. I using this mic to make sure that you guys can't hear any background noise or possibly my son crying and wanting some food. But let's get started. What is the Peace Corps? Peace Corps is an independent agency volunteer program that is run by the United States government, where American men and women spend 2 years abroad internationally to provide social and economic development assistance. And training for the Peace Corps takes about 10 to 12 weeks, 3 months, and is completed here in the U.S. One of the expectations while you are in your PST, which stands for pre-service training, an expectation that the Peace Corps has is to commit to improving the quality of life of the people with whom you live and work, and in doing so, share your skills, adapt them, and learn new skills as needed. It can be quite intimidating to, travel across the world and spend time in a place that you're unfamiliar with. The culture you will definitely be unfamiliar with, but you're there on a mission to provide help and assistance, and in return, you'll be doing yourself a favor and also doing the world a favor and the people in which you interact with. The training is all done in country in America, and trainees are equipped with knowledge that will help them once they reach their assigned communities. Some of the safety concerns of the Peace Corps, and also for the people that are working out there, what they want to do with their safety training is help people understand the risks that are associated with traveling abroad, serving abroad, how to deal with unwanted attention, how to recognize other cultures, local cultures around the area in which they are serving, accessing services available to volunteers who are victims of crime, and transportation, emergency plans, any kind of security concern, and also just fulfilling their role for the Peace Corps and doing everything that they need to do. The Peace Corps mission is to promote world peace and friendship by fulfilling 3 goals. First goal is to help people of interested countries in meeting their need for trained men and women. The second goal is to help promote a better understanding of Americans through those who serve. The third goal is to help promote a better understanding of other peoples on the part of Americans. Peace Corps as a whole is a mutually beneficial program because underdeveloped countries get men and women who will come over there and help them with education, agricultural technologies, help them advance economically through other nonprofits and other non-governmental organizations in those countries, and overall just provide better stability in the places in which they serve. And the early history of the Peace Corps is actually quite interesting. President John F. Kennedy signed an executive order 10924, which established the Peace Corps on March 1st, 1961. But prior to this, John F. Kennedy was actually still a senator, and he arrived at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor in mid-October of 1960, and he was greeted by more than 10,000 students who were awaiting him to speak. He showed up at 2 a.m., which is extremely late, but everybody was excited to see him. And where this began John F. Kennedy's question, where he asked the students, how many of you would be willing to serve your country for the cause of peace by living and working in the developing world? The reaction was both swift and enthusiastic. Within their first year, the volunteers began serving in 5 different countries, and then in just under 6 years, through help of a director and the program actually, thriving throughout, uh, in under 6 years, they were in 55 countries with just under 15,000 volunteers. It's actually crazy. Um, Congress passed the Peace Corps Act in late September of 1961, giving it the mandate to promote world peace and friendship. The mission statement that the Peace Corps continues to adhere by. Since 1961, over 240,000 Americans have volunteered to this wonderful cause, and an all-time record of active volunteers was in 1966 at 15,000 volunteers. So what do the Peace Corps do? The Peace Corps lead efforts to protect the environment and to educate people on environmental issues. They promote the use of sustainable resources and resolutions to environmental degradation. Environmental volunteers and also agricultural volunteers are very interesting to me because they truly do a lot. They teach soil conservation, forestry, different gardening practices for some of these underdeveloped countries. They teach a lot of environmental education in elementary and secondary schools to provide awareness to groups and individuals outside of the school settings. Education is also the Peace Corps' largest program where they create libraries and technology resource centers. They truly do a lot. Forestry and the agricultural volunteers establish conservation plans and develop alternatives to wood as a fuel source. They help reforestation projects. Uh, they also improve practices such as fruit production. They want to protect the biodiversity around these areas and also help on flood control projects. They instruct farmers on efficient techniques that prevent soil erosion, and they also get them to cut down on the use of harmful pesticides. They educate and assist in all aspects of nutrition education, livestock, and agroforestry. Volunteers play key roles in connecting schools, parents, and communities by teaching math, science, English, and even basic community computer skills. They also work with non-governmental organizations and municipalities to encourage the growth of economic opportunities. Volunteers actively work with entrepreneurs on how to market and better develop products for these countries. And overall, they do just about everything, and it's a mutually beneficial organization, and it's very interesting. Some of the Peace Corps volunteer locations are here in this graph. Number one place that volunteers go to is Africa, and kind of the southern African region around that area. It's kind of like a U shape, and there's more information provided on the Peace Corps' website. 19% in Central and South America, 5% of volunteers are in the Caribbean, 4% is in the North Africa and Middle East, 13% in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. Asia's got 12%, and then the remaining 4% are in the Pacific Islands. A couple of quick facts. The number of countries served to date since the Peace Corps' inception is 142. It's a very large number. The average age of volunteers is 26. Volunteers over the age of 50 are at 3.2% of volunteers. The current number of countries served is 61. There are currently 65% female volunteers and 35% male volunteers. 34% are minorities. And another kind of wild fact I had saw was that 99% of volunteers in the Peace Corps are single and 1% married. But that kind of makes sense when you're going across the world to help serve an underdeveloped country, and you're probably not going to leave a husband, wife at home. And here's a breakdown of the volunteer sector percentage. There's 42% of volunteers in education, 20% in health, 12% in youth and development, 9% in agriculture, 8% in community economic development, 7% in environment, and 2% are in the Peace Corps response. Education being the biggest sector for the Peace Corps is no surprise. I thought it would be closer to half, but 42% is as close as it gets. There are certain programs in the Peace Corps for education that are more appealing than others. We talked earlier about the pre-service training for the Peace Corps, and that it's a 10 to 12 week program in which you learn all kinds of things that are going to be incorporated in your time while you are serving. One specific thing that is in the education sector is the TEFL certificate program, and the TEFL certificate program is teaching English as a foreign language. It includes 120 hours of training and 2 years of supervised teaching experience. It is recognized globally and nationally by the Center of Applied Linguistics in Washington, D.C., and it prepares volunteers to teach in a variety of contexts and countries. So before, even in your pre-service training for this program, you do 4 e-learning modules that are completed over a 12-week period. This is the 10 to 12 weeks, your first pre-service training while you are here in America before you set out. There's 10 hours of practice teaching. You have an online learning community in which professional development events facilitated by the Peace Corps staff at post. You have your 2 years of supervised classroom teaching experience during your service, your volunteer evaluation, which is your observations based on the Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate standards to track you and improve volunteers' teaching performances. You will also have your midday and in-service training, totaling to about 15 hours during your service. And the certificate program, the Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate program, is an exceptional program and has been a benefit for those during their service and after their service. There's currently 6 countries in Africa that are participating in the Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate program. There's 2 in Asia. And here are the graduate degree opportunities. The Master's International Program is a graduate program that has offered graduate students the opportunity to combine their studies with Peace Corps service abroad, but this historic program has ended in 2016. It was around for almost 30 years, which, based on your discipline, you could actually go to school, or you were provided course credits while you were serving in the Peace Corps. That has ended in recent years. Now, the only graduate degree opportunity is offered to returning Peace Corps volunteers. So this financial aid program is available to return Peace Corps volunteers at select partner schools with a large range of disciplines. All fellows complete internships in underdeserved communities here in the United States, and it allows them to progress and integrate the skills that they learned as volunteers in these foreign countries, and they come back and provide that assistance back home. There's over 5,000 return volunteers who have received financial assistance for their graduate degree, and currently there are over 200 graduate school programs across the U.S. Finding information for presentations like this, sometimes you got to search night and day, go through different websites, a few videos, different articles, but getting information on the Peace Corps through their website was actually very beneficial, very easy to do. If you guys haven't checked it out, I suggest you go do so. They have a bunch of cool things regarding the history of the Peace Corps, and overall the website was very beneficial, very helpful, and Hope you guys enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you guys enjoyed yours for